Happening now, owners of a Chautauqua County cafe are looking to bounce back following a fire that leveled their establishment. This as the investigation into the blaze continues. And Jamestown police continue their efforts to crack down on illegal drugs, the latest seizure and arrest. Plus, the story of a fox that's stirring up trouble in D.C.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Our latest local news is coming up, but first, it seems like everybody's drying out following some pretty significant heavy rains overnight. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us now with more on how much water has been puddling up. Dakota?
Well, Justin, as of just about 10 o'clock this morning when these totals came in, we had about 1.5 inches worth of rain in Falconer. Also here in town in Jamestown, a little more than 1 inch in Little Valley, Kennedy, Gary, and close to 1 inch in Fredonia. So again, this is the rain that came last night and then early this morning, and we're still dealing with some rain showers right now. All of this is kind of moving northeast. That is the component of motion on some of this rain, and it's going to be on again, off again type of rain showers through the day. 57 was the high yesterday. We started the day at 41. 80 and 9 are the records for this day. So through the afternoon, told you, on again, off again type of rain showers. Cloudy and cooler. We won't rule out the chance for some limited sunshine peaks, but I think the clouds really are going to win the sky. 46 to 53 with a light south wind. Now, temperatures continue to go down through the rest of the week, but is there any sign of warmth? We'll talk about it with that Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin?
Oh, I certainly hope so, Dakota. We'll see you back with the details in just a bit. A Chautauqua County cafe is looking to bounce back following a devastating fire that leveled the family-owned business. As WNY News Now's Julia Gress reports, they're now crediting the community's support as their drive to do so.
We've just had so many people reach out and offer support, business-wise as well as personally with our kids and our family.
Just after 2 a.m. Sunday, the Fluvanna Fire Department, along with several others, responded to the Homestead Cafe at 3062 Route 430 in the town of Ellerly. Following an intense firefight, the building was destroyed. Paige Oyer, who owns the restaurant alongside her husband, says her family is working to fulfill their existing catering jobs despite the tragic loss.
Currently, we're looking for a place to temporarily work out of, but our plan is to, before June, when the wedding season starts, have a either temporary or permanent spot to cook out of. But we've had a couple different businesses reach out with opportunities for that as well.
The restaurant managed to stay afloat during the pandemic, shifting their operations from a simple mom-and-pop diner to a growing catering business. They specialize in some of Western New York's favorite eats, like beef on weck and chicken cordon bleu. Though the cause of the fire is yet to be determined, Oyer says that eventually their business will return to a brick-and-mortar location. The restaurant had become like a second home for her family, as Oyer explained, creating memories with her husband and children over the years.
It just really came out of nowhere. We were working there the Saturday evening. We were there, and then that night, 6-8 hours after we left, it was all gone.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. In the end, the Oyers say they're thankful that none of their 6 employees were present or injured during the fire. The Chautauqua County Sheriff's Office Fire Investigation Team says so far the cause is undetermined. Investigators say they're continuing interviews, examining financial information and other insurance documents before concluding. This, they tell us, is pretty routine for an examination of this scope. 2 Jamestown residents are facing drug charges after police raided a South Side home on Wednesday. Jamestown Police Metro Drug Task Force, along with partner agencies, executed the search warrant at 200 Prospect Street around 9 in the morning. Inside that home, the SWAT team located 2 adults, later identified as 31-year-old Nathan Owen and 24-year-old Janie Blakely, and a child. Following an additional search there, detectives allegedly recovered a quantity of fentanyl, methamphetamine, Suboxone pills, scales, and drug packaging material. Police ask anyone with information about the criminal activity to call their department's tip line. That number is 716-483-8477. And a Western New York contractor is accused of defrauding homeowners across the region. For around 2 years, New York State police say 31-year-old Jesse Smyers allegedly collected over $200,000 in money and supplies for jobs that he never completed or completed so poorly that they had to be redone. Smyers also, investigators allege, issued numerous bad checks to lumber companies and other businesses. State police are now asking for anyone who may be a victim to the construction scheme to come forward and contact them. The number for that is 585-344-6200. And the Jamestown Board of Public Utilities yard waste site opens for the season this weekend. Located on Monroe Street at the dead end, gates will be open from 7 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon, Saturdays through November 12th. Starting on May 4th through the September 28th, that site will also be open Wednesdays. That's from 4 to 7. Customers must display a mint green colored BPU yard waste sticker on the rear side of their driver's side window of their vehicle to enter. The window stickers are free of charge to the solid waste residential customers. However, only one sticker is provided for each customer account. The window stickers are available at the BPU customer service office. Now at the site, residents can discard leaves, grass clippings, mulch, plants, shrubs, brushes, trees, and their various parts. Metal, sod, concrete, rocks, dirt, lumber, and any sort of wood or drywall or construction material is not accepted. The town of Westfield is revisiting their zoning laws in an effort to provide additional clarity for new builds, like tiny houses. The effort started before the pandemic, according to Town Supervisor Martha Bills, when local lawmakers are expanding legal language in their code. Currently, the legal language only defines a dwelling as a structure over 780 square feet. The specs do not consider builds like tiny houses, campgrounds, or greenhouses. In January, the zoning board denied an application for a greenhouse glamp site, which Ohio resident Emily Ponte built last year. Ponte has since lost her appeal in that case. At the time, Ponte told us she believed the campsite structure was under 144 square feet, which is why it did not need a permit.
We've had people that have built these accessory buildings, but not for sleeping. They've had conditions that it couldn't be. So we've had this question, and we've had people coming up with various kinds of campgrounds.
The town plans to host a public hearing in the future to gain input from the community about revisiting the law. In the meantime, they're going to stop taking new zoning requests until the language is clarified. As WNY News Now continues, the juvenile suspected in a high school shooting in our region now in police custody. The latest in that case next. And later, a look at the Children's Museum, which broke ground yesterday. Stay with us. WNY News Now will be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area, plus end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
Welcome to Honest John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you. Whoa, Free Comic Book Day is almost here.
There's comic books for all ages.
Stop on down to Chautauqua Comics at 214 Fairmount Avenue in Jamestown and pick up some free comics. From superheroes to science fiction, there are tons of options.
100% free. Just show up on May 7th starting at 11 a.m.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
The teenage suspect in Tuesday's shooting at Erie High School is starting off the day in a juvenile detention facility. Because of his age, authorities are not releasing his name. Shortly after that suspect turned himself in Wednesday, the Erie Police Department posted it on their Facebook page, saying their investigation is ongoing. The district attorney says because the suspect is younger than 15, they will not release his name, and he's expected to be charged in the more lenient juvenile court system there in Pennsylvania. And investigators have determined a dryer malfunction started a fire that killed an adult and 3 children in PA last week. The malfunction caused the dryer to catch fire at the Springboro home Friday evening, which then spread to the surrounding area and stairs. This caused 3 children on the 2nd floor and 1 adult on the 1st floor to be trapped. Wiring in the home was not up to code, according to an investigator. Family members say the breakers would sometimes trip if the washer and dryer were running at the same time. The fire claimed the lives of 65-year-old Hilda Earnhardt and her grandsons, William Robson, 14-year-old Matthew Robson, 10-year-old Matthew Robson, and a granddaughter, Destiny, who was just 6 months old at that time. 2 others were injured in the blaze. They remain hospitalized. According to the National Safety Council, motor vehicle deaths were up 9% in 2021. April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and in PA, the push for legislation to combat distracted driving continues. Brendan Scanlon with more on what advocates are calling for this month.
My life was drastically changed. My whole life has changed. My whole world has changed.
In 2010, Eileen Miller lost her son, Paul, who was killed by a distracted driver. For years, she's been driving to Harrisburg, fighting to end distracted driving and advocating for families of victims she's never even met.
Pennsylvania, it's time to do something, please. I'm tired of coming here begging and begging and begging. It's time.
Pennsylvania is severely behind in doing everything possible that we can to help minimize cell phone distractions.
Representative Rosemary Brown is the sponsor of House Bill 37. The bill would increase distracted driving laws like prohibiting handheld cell phone use, especially texting,
which really has not been enforced due to a very ineffective and unenforceable state law.
Advocates say the legislation is vital, especially at a time when device dependency is reaching new heights.
My generation was thrown into a world of forced necessity to use our devices, to connect to our classrooms, our jobs, and our friends.
Ben Novotny is the Pennsylvania Students Against Destructive Decisions, or SAD, Student of the Year. He says there's now an opportunity to create a new normal.
A normal in which technology is not a driving distraction, and we are all present in the moment and not subjected to device dependency.
The SAD Text Less, Live More initiative is working to educate teens and young adults about digital wellness and dependency. But the conversation doesn't end with teenagers.
It's also the PTO mom, the commercial driver, our parents and our grandparents who are digitally dependent and using devices in vehicles.
Miller says the fight for common sense legislation is long overdue.
8 years to get a common sense law to save lives. It's time, Pennsylvania.
In Harrisburg, Brendan Scanlon reporting.
Brendan, thank you. Currently in PA, a texting violation is a $50 fine. It carries no points as a penalty and is not recorded on your driver's license. An expansion was put into action yesterday with the groundbreaking at the Experience Erie Children's Museum in our region. Preschoolers from Early Connections in Erie, PA grabbed a shovel with the leaders working to put the project into action. It's a multi-million-dollar plan that will create a 3-floor children's museum and triple the amount of exhibits. Community donors, companies, and funding from the Erie Community Foundation and state have allowed for this growth.
We're building the 2-story addition, which is right behind me. That'll be about a year in the making of making that addition, and then we'll flip-flop. We're still going to remain open, so that's important to note, and then we will renovate the current building while we are inside the new space.
Right now, the annual attendance at the Children's Museum in Erie is 64,000 total, with 40,000 being children. What's expected for the new museum in a stable year, so a year or two after opening, it's about 130,000 people visiting each year. Coming up, the latest in the FDA guidance on COVID-19 vaccines, why for some it's causing confusion. And later, our U.S. Capitol correspondent with a story of a fox that, well, it's stirring up some trouble in our nation's capital. But first, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast, so stay with us.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer with a day of fun activities for children in the Jamestown area, hosted by Collaborative Children's Solutions and the City of Jamestown. The first part of the day happens at Northwest Arena, where both kids and parents alike can learn about activities available to youth. Later in the evening, finish out the night at the Tarp Skunk baseball game, along with a fireworks show at Russell Dietrich Jr. Park. Stop on down on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back, everybody. Wanted to give you a live look from the Salamanca Skycam, and you can see just, the clouds around across much of the region today, and this is going to continue through much of the day today. Now, the chance of rain over the next 5 days really is going to be consistent, at least for the next few. So we have a widespread chance, 80 and 70% today and tomorrow. We do drop the rain chances through the weekend, and then it looks like we are going to get a dry day coming early next week, and that will be on Monday. HD News Now Cam showing you those clouds around here in downtown Jamestown. Right now we are perched. We are perched at 45 degrees, a south wind of 7, but look at this dew point at 43. So even though it's not really warm, it is a little bit muggy because with the rain showers in the air, 45 with that dew point, the moisture can't go anywhere. So that's why it's feeling a little bit kind of stuffy today, simply because the air temperature and the dew point close together, moisture can't evaporate. So you can see the moisture here on First Defense Doppler radar. These are mainly rain showers, lighter rain showers that are kind of moving kind of northeast. There's kind of a northward component of motion to this today, and this is all in association with this cold front that has moved on through. So this is the reason why we're colder today, and notice there's a second front back behind that. That's going to sweep through again overnight, and then that's the next storm system that's going to arrive, which is going to keep the rain showers going for the next couple of days. So let's show it to you on future scan here. Notice the rain continuing in pockets through the afternoon hours. We may see a couple of moderate rain showers, but I do think most of this will be mainly on the lighter side. This evening we could actually break out into some partly cloudy skies through the overnight, but again, we are going to see a few more rain showers. Then tomorrow, just a repeat, a few more scattered showers through the day tomorrow. And then look at what starts to come our way as we head into the weekend. Snow showers return. I know, isn't it wonderful? But we are going to see a few more light snow showers returning by the time we go into Saturday. And the good news is accumulation not looking likely here. But if you are sick of all this colder air, it does look like we have another warm-up coming by the time we go into next week. This is the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, and you can see this big bubble of warm air coming. So it does look like we're going to be in the 60s come next week. You can see it here on the next 7 days of your life, powered by Ultimate Satellite Solutions. So yeah, we do have to go down into the 40s for the weekend. The hills will likely stay in the upper 30s all day, but look at the temperatures rebound. 58 on Tuesday, 66 on Wednesday, and it's still a little too early to call, Justin, but it does look like Thursday and Friday we could be close to 70, Justin.
Ooh, I'll take that, Dakota. Gift wrap it for Mother's Day.
Put a bow?
For Easter. Coming up. Dakota, thank you. Well, healthcare providers hoping to get new guidance on COVID-19 vaccines from the Food and Drug Administration, well, they're going to have to keep waiting. The agency's Vaccines and Related Biological Products Advisory Committee met to discuss the future of the vaccines and boosters Wednesday. That meeting ended with no solid answers. Part of the problem is it's still unclear what the future vaccines might look like. Both Pfizer and Moderna are working on vaccines that could target specific COVID variants. Some researchers are also hoping to develop a more universal vaccine that could work against variants we don't know about yet. The FDA has not issued any new guidance since last week, when a second dose of the existing booster was authorized for people at least 50 years and older. For everyone else, there's still more questions than answers about how to vaccinate against COVID in the future. And the Senate is expected to confirm Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson today, securing her place as the first black woman on the high court and giving President Joe Biden a bipartisan endorsement for his historic pick. 3 Republican senators have said they will support Jackson, who would replace Justice Stephen Breyer when he retires this summer. While the vote will be far from the overwhelming bipartisan confirmations for Breyer and other justices in the past, it will still be a significant bipartisan accomplishment for Biden in the narrow 50-50 Senate after GOP senators aggressively worked to paint Jackson as too liberal and soft on crime. Jackson, a 51-year-old federal appeals court judge, would be just the 3rd black justice after Thurgood Marshall and Clarence Thomas, and the 6th woman on the high court. Well, this next story involves how much you'll be spending, specifically on gas and interest rates. Amy Kiley explains what's happening and how it affects your bank account.
You are ripping the American people off, and it must end. Gas prices need to go down.
Some big things are happening that affect how much you pay for things. The first is oil executives won't commit to ending buybacks.
Will you commit to doing whatever it takes, including increasing production, but also reducing dividends and buybacks in order to lower prices for struggling American consumers?
Nearly all basically answered like this.
We'll see production increases over time, and the answer is no on dividends and share purchases.
Here's how buybacks work. Oil companies buy some of their own shares. That reduces supply for normal investors, increases demand, and raises share prices. Then shareholders get payouts called dividends. Oil executives usually own stock in their own companies, so they can personally profit from buybacks. Democrats would rather they invest in production to lower gas prices.
You and your big oil corporations are making record profits.
Some Republicans blame high fuel costs on energy regulations instead.
There is a way to be able to bring prices down. They're just not willing to do it at this point.
The second thing happening that affects your wallet involves interest rates. The Federal Reserve will release monthly data on consumer credit rates today. That's for things like new cars and personal loans. And Freddie Mac is releasing weekly mortgage rates. Those numbers are baselines. The Fed is signaling it will hike rates again soon. I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Amy, thank you. In related news, the International Energy Agency says it's releasing 60 million barrels of oil from emergency reserves. It says the objective is to ease the cost of sanctions against Russia. Next, an inside look at the Fox debacle on Capitol Hill.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Visit the Northwest Arena on Friday, June 24th, as we celebrate the end of school and say hello to summer. Learn about activities available to youth in the Jamestown area, plus end the night with fireworks at the Tarp Skunks game. Learn more online at ccsolutions716.com.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
U.S. Capitol Police had their hands full after an unruly visitor was disturbing the peace on Capitol grounds, even biting people. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports on the chaos of capturing a wild fox at the Capitol.
The U.S. Capitol sees its fair share of tourists, but there was an unexpected visitor lurking in a park near the Senate offices. Capitol Police aren't referring to an unruly tourist or any of the abundant squirrels, but rather a red fox. And its visit was causing chaos.
There were some sightings yesterday. There were also about a half a dozen what we're calling aggressive interactions, so some nips, some bites.
Staff believe it's the first time a fox has made its way onto Capitol grounds, and police were getting reports of people being attacked or bitten, including one member of Congress who was bit by the fox. He told reporters he had to get several shots, including a rabies shot as a precaution, but he's feeling fine and is back at work. But this fox frenzy sparked satirical social media postings.
It is getting a lot of traction on social media and a lot of people are having fun with it, but although it is kind of humorous, it's also a public safety issue.
Representative Virginia Fox poked fun at the situation and tweeted, "So much for my Fox Caucus idea," and a Twitter account was created for the fox, jokingly taunting Capitol Police after they alerted people about an aggressive fox near Capitol grounds, saying, "You'll never take me alive." But this fox spoke too soon.
Did y'all get it?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God.
Capitol Police called in for backup, animal control. And after hours of setting traps and searching the grounds, they captured the fox, ending this chaos at the Capitol. At the Capitol, Rachel Knapp reporting.
All right, Rachel, thank you. A first-hand look, too, at the capture. Now, since that fox has been taken into custody, Dakota, DC Health says they had to humanely euthanize it in order to test it for rabies. They did find her kids and captured them as well. They're still working on next steps there, but the health leaders say that the fox bite bit a total of 9 people. So, gosh.
We go from having a deer problem in Western New York to having a fox problem on the Capitol.
Oh, gosh, it just never ends. I'm kind of surprised that that's like the first time, as Rachel mentioned, that they've had a fox infiltrate the Capitol grounds, so to speak. I mean, I guess originally, right, when they built D.C., it was a swamp. So I don't know how many foxes lived there, but I would have thought that there'd be more of a fox presence. I don't know. They have a squirrel issue. Like, it's not, I don't know if it's an issue because they're not that bad, but there are hundreds of squirrels if you ever walked along the National Mall. It's crazy. It's crazy how many squirrels there are.
Sandy Cheek's family, folks.
Yeah. Ooh,
That's where they're from.
All the cousins, too.
Yep, from D.C.
Well, that's going to do it for us today. Of course, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. We'll leave you with this live look over the lake in Finley Lake. And as Dakota
Looks like
mentioned,
someone's getting oil or propane.
yeah, but look at a little bit of blue sky out there. Have a great day.